My name is Estate Surveyor and Valuer, Pastor Victor Makanjuola Ayeye, popularly known as VMA. I am a fellow of the Nigerian Institution of Estate Surveyors and Valuers. I am a fellow of the Corporate Administration Institute. I am a fellow of the Institute of Management Consultant, and I am a United Kingdom Certified Management Consultant. I hold a HND in Estate Management from Osun State College of Technology, Esauke, where I graduated as the overall best student over 20 years ago. In 2012, I was awarded as the most valuable alumnus of the Faculty of Environmental Studies of the same institution. I have served the institution as National Publicity Secretary and also as Honorary National Secretary. And currently, I'm serving as the Chairman, National CPD, and an unofficial member of Council. I'm a pastor in charge of the Redeemed Christian Church of God Covenant House in Abuja and the Provincial Youth Pastor for FCT Province 13, where I'm directly in charge of a cluster of churches comprising of over 170 churches, where I mentor over 7,000 youths. I'm a writer and a publisher. I'm the lead consultant of Superior Mind Global Resources, and I've written 3 books: Keys to Financial Freedom, Password to Greatness, and A Better Tomorrow. I'm the founder of King's Care Universal School, one of the leading schools in the Federal Capital Territory in Abuja. I'm happily married with 4 children. I'm in the race. I'm contesting for the office of the 2nd Vice President of our noble institution. I'm in the race because I'm experienced in the affairs of our institution. I'm in the race because I'm driven by passion. I'm in the race because I want to contribute my own quota to the advancement of our noble institution. I'm in the race because I want to take from the word of our late sage, Chief Obafemi Awolowo, who says you cannot control the steering of a vehicle from the back seat. I'm in the race because I want to make a difference. And majorly, that's why I'm in the race. This is one question I'd like to answer for the purpose of clarification. I voluntarily resigned in 2017 as National Secretary because I decided to accept the responsibility as the National Secretary of the institution and the man in charge of the Secretariat for the failure or omission, as we may call it, to publish our AGM notice within the period specified by our Constitution. And what was my reason? During that period, I was bereaved. I lost my auntie who trained me, and within a month, I lost my mother. So 2 colossal loss at the same time. I was devastated, and so many things I couldn't even remember because of the loss. Unfortunately, some people capitalized on this, an issue that we could have resolved administratively, but some capitalized on this. Some vocal few felt that because of this omission, the head of the secretary must go, the council must go for it, the president must go for it. And I feel that I will accept responsibility, which I did. In fact, before then, they wanted to make an issue out of it. The case was taken to the Professional Practice Committee of our institution. But when the case got to the committee looked at it. in line with our constitution, and they could not establish a case of professional misconduct at all, and the case was thrown out. But nevertheless, to allow peace to reign, because I'm a man of peace, because I'm a man that believes in destiny, that whatever God has destined, God has destined it. I resigned, and everything was okay, because some of the vocal few, the agitation was to stop or to limit my rising profile because of their belief that this day will come when I will want to contest for second vice president of the institution. But you, my noble colleagues, realize, and I've seen what I've done in the past. Even when I contest for unofficial among 20 people, I got the highest vote to return back to the same council where I am even till today. So those are the things that happen, and there's nothing more but that. But we thank God, all is now history, because the best of man is man. To err is human, to forgive is divine. And for those who were disappointed at that time, I want to sincerely apologize. It was not in my character, but things happen and we must accept responsibility. So if for whatever reason you have been misinformed, please, this is the true story, but I still want to apologize. Well, you know, in politics, each time people could not see what to say, they must say something. When we talk about young, because I'm a Christian, a pastor, our Lord Jesus Christ finished all his assignments on earth at 33. Last year, I celebrated my 45th birthday. This year, I'll be 46. So if I become the second vice president in March, before I become the president, I will have celebrated my 50th birthday. Are we saying a 50-year-old man is young to be a president of an institution? Even when we have 32-year-old being Speaker of the House in Oyo State, 33 being Speaker in Plateau State. So I think relatively, when we talk about being young, in terms of what I've contributed and my experience, in fact, I am old, because I've passed through, I've grown through the rank and file. So I am the most qualified for this assignment at this time. And then issue of whether being young, in fact, issue of age is just number. What matters is what you have been able to do with the time you have spent here. So when people say young or no young, some of them are not privy to certain information. But that's why I'm telling everyone that for me to become second vice this year, I will be 50 to become president. And I think, in fact, some of our presidents, in the last, some few of our presidents that I know, that I work with, celebrated 50th birthday as president of the institution, and some when they have left as president. So mine is not the first. So I want to say here that I'm not too young. I have my daughter as an undergraduate in the university. So I'm not young. I am not the way they see it. Well, as a professional, without sounding immodest, I would say that I have been able to run a practice that is enviable. The firm of Ayeye & Co, within 10 years, have been able to put its feet on the stand of time in Abuja and across Nigeria. And I've been able, as a professional, to mentor so many others. So many of the staff I have employed, over 29 of them at the last count, were under me. I mentored them and they became associates of the institution. This is the kind of person that will lead the institution, somebody that has so many lieutenants that he has groomed. I have done this, and I cannot say exactly for some other persons. But also in the area of employment, as of today, I have about 42 people under my employment in the firm of Ayeye & Co. It means that I am a person that wants others to grow under me. Leaders become great not by their power, but because of their ability to empower others, according to J.C. Maxwell. So I have been able to empower so many people. Even some of the staff that have left my office, some of them are now practicing on their own. Some of them have their firms and they are now employing other people. So I am an employer who have employed people who are now employing others. Recently, one of my staff that left my office, that voluntarily resigned also, I celebrated her because she did well when she was with me. There was a sent forth party I did for her, where the president, first vice, all the management committee, most council members were present, and I gave her a gift of a car. And that car is what she's using. She used to start her practice. I ensured I gave her parting gift that she used to rent an office to start a practice. I think that is what we should be looking for in a leader. Not to give people fish, but to teach people how to fish so that there can be multiplier effect. Not to look for people that will be giving ad hoc engagement because I want to run election to give them money at this time. Well, after the election, nothing happens. Not to be looking for surveyors that will become like errand boy to be following me all around because they are not independent, because they are not financially buoyant. So I can be paying their annual dues. I don't want to administer an institution like that. An institution where people will be independent, both in the mind and financially. That is the kind of institution we want. So these are some of the achievements I have. I have sponsored over 500 students to national conferences of our institution to produce a future generation that we need. I have sponsored over 1,000 to national CPDs. I have engaged industrial trainees and core members, over 100 in the period of. So meaning that we have put it back to the society. So these are achievements that I feel I'm proud of, and it makes me get fulfilled. And I know that by the time I'm giving this mandate as the second vice president, I will be able to do more for the institution and for our members. In the last 10 years, without sounding immodest and without trying to blow my trumpet, all achievements, everything I have achieved is through the cooperation of the management and council of our institution. Nevertheless, as the person that initiated most of these ideas, I want to say that as National Publicity Secretary, I changed the most of our operations, starting from how we induct our associates. I ensure that we do it with fanfare, and it's an avenue. It became an avenue for us to project the image of our institution. So, as a publicity secretary, I introduced the issuance of plaques to associates, dress code, publication of their names in newspapers for the whole world to see, for the whole world to know that we exist, and also preparing yearbook for them. We cannot be in the dark and be winkling. People will not see us. So I believe we should do this. So as public secretary, I was able to initiate this, and up to today, I must thank those who came after me. They have been able to sustain this. Apart from that, our conferences, when I was in charge in 2013, it took a new shape. I introduced the idea of early bird, normal registration, and late registration, and that ended the area of rushing for materials in our conferences. Our dinner took a new turn. Those are some of the things, and this early bird I'm talking about is now being adopted, is being used across the institution for everything we want to do in our professional body. So I'm a man of idea. I'm a man of innovation, inspired by God. And of course, at this time, we need a godly man. And Ayeye is the man that we need for this assignment. So I want to plead with you. I want to beg you. It's time to look in this direction, not in what we tell. Talk is cheap. People can tell you anything, but try and find out what have we been able to do. When I was in the board, as a representative of the board, when two foreigners were registered and the stamp was introduced as ICOS, I was the secretary that put down this as an EGM, and at that EGM we ratified it, and this was done. So I am always willing to serve and to represent our people at all times. Beyond that, as national secretary, I was able to restructure the secretariat. The word secretariat is gotten from secretary. I feel that it's an anomaly for us to have a secretariat without a place for a secretary to sit down and do his work when he comes there, even though it's an honorary national secretary. I created that office. Till today, it's being used. I make sure that the secretariat is structured, and we have a very good ambience for both the visitors and our members. Our staff, we introduce dress code for them. Then we introduce biometric attendance register for the purpose of making sure that our staff are doing the best. We reassign some of them to where they will better function. These are some of the things I did as national secretary with the help of the president, management, and council. So I know I'm a man that understands structure. I'm a man that knows what to do. I'm a man that has been in this system. Ayeye is a man of innovation, and we need innovation. We need strength at this time. Why we have to talk about this is that we cannot talk about the future without talking about the past and the present. I've been talking about the past and the present. The future is very bright with Victor Ayeye as second vice president. 3 things I want to do when I become the second vice president. Number 1, I want to work with others to ensure that our institution is visible. We will make sure that our image is well projected for people to see, because we cannot winkle in the dark. As a man that is experienced in public relations, I will ensure that the office of the public secretary and other necessary offices are supported to make sure that our image is well projected. And when we have this image well projected, our members will be known, our profession will be known, and our members will have a lot of jobs. So that's my major assignment, number one assignment. Of course, it takes a man who can project his own personal image, that to be able to project the image of the institution. I brought it out from nothing, and today everybody knows the firm. So the same way I will project the image of the institution. Number two is to ensure that we diversify. Late Charles Adebiyi, our 16th president, started something in this line when he started Niesv Venture, the business arm of the institution. It is time for us to revisit that Niesv Venture. I've studied all the documents of Niesv Venture in preparation for ascension of office, and I realized that when we have this venture working properly, we will make this business arm to function well, and we generate revenue there to do our advocacy and other things without bothering our members. One area, for instance, that I've seen that we need to look into is in the area of printing. Every year we print conference materials, we print MCPD materials, branches print materials, all our members print letterhead, they print complimentary card. It's estimated at about 70 million naira. What we need to do is just to set up a printing press, which will serve both the institution and the external body, and will make a whole lot of money there. I have entrepreneurship skill. From an essay surveyor, I diversified to be an educationist. I run King's Care Universal School as a school, and today that school is a leading school on Airport Road in Abuja. So what it means is that if I bring the same passion, the same experience, and we don't need so much money to start. I didn't start that business with so much. I only started it with little that was available. So I don't need so much money to establish that printing press, make it work, and then generate revenue not less than 50 to 100 billion naira in a year to be able to do our advocacy program. So you need a person who can start from nothing to something like me to run the affairs of our institution. And thirdly, which is my third agenda, we will strengthen our research and development. Because any organization that is not researching and is not exploring new options will go into extinction. So our people in academia, the professors and whatever, will empower them. We will make sure that we get them to contribute their own quota, and they will be happy doing it. And we ensure that we make them comfortable as an institution, so that year in, year out, we have researches, we have this. All of us cannot be doing the same thing. I cannot be so good in the practice as an essay surveyor and still be a researcher. And say, no, jack of all trades becomes master of none. So we use everybody where they are good enough, so that all of us will achieve corporate goals. That's why I want to tell people that no single person can save us or can take us out of our present challenge. We need our collective idea. Any one person that thinks he knows everything, he knows everybody, he can do everything, cannot take us anywhere. So that's why I know you, the other person there, myself, coming together. And what can I do? I will ensure I use all these things that we have to get the best for our institution. As a pastor, I have experimented it in my church. I have different people, captain of industry, have PAMSEX. So when we have anything to do, I look at who is most appropriate to help us, and we get things done the same way we'll get it done in night. Don't be deceived. Nobody has the monopoly of knowledge to take us out of any problem. We have issues with engineers. The thing that has gone to the board up till now, we are still on it. So what it means is that by the time we fire from every angle, we'll get the result done. No one person knows everybody, no one person knows everything to solve any problem. We must do it together. And what will I do is to get us to do it together. One thing is that as an essay surveyor evaluator, our practice should be a good sample for others. And that's why you see the ambience of this office looking as good as any standard office. The laurels you see me win are a result of people, both in the institution and externally, that have seen what we are doing, contributing without knowing. And that's why I've been given an award by the city people as the Real Estate Man of the Year, Nigerian Entrepreneurship Award as Essay Surveyor Value of the Year. I've been given an award by African Entrepreneurs for business innovation. African youth, Nigerian youth, all over awards coming to appreciate me. I'm going to talk about books. Today a reader, tomorrow a leader. Why I'm doing what I'm doing? Because I am acquiring knowledge on daily basis. There are books on professional practice, there are books motivational, there are Christian books, there are books on current affairs. Everything that I read is because I want to add value to myself, to be able to add value to my environment and my institution at number one of the other. So, and that is why you see what you are seeing. And I want to assure you, within the next 1 year, you will see more than this. My parting word is simple. Please, noble colleagues, you have heard me. Beyond sentiment and emotion, beyond sympathy and what have you, vote for a man that is experienced in the affair. That will see, government is in continuum. Vote for somebody that has been through the ladder, that written through rank and file. Vote for Victor Makanjuola Ayeye, VMA, as second vice president. And by the grace of God, you will not regret it. You did. Thank you.